So two worst times for a speaker to come on stage is just before lunch and just after. Right. Now, I know you guys are hungry. You've been sitting here, right? So this becomes 3 times the harder session that you guys have been sitting since morning. Plus you're hungry, right? Plus you've not been speaking. You've been quiet since morning. So we want to change that, right? I want to change that, and I want to make this a two-way conversation. The conversation, this title is The Secrets of Networking Superstars. Number one, why are we talking about networking in today's session? The biggest reason is this, that most people out there believe that networking is about going to such events, exchanging cards, finding business opportunities, and following up. And this is the biggest mistake anyone can make when it comes to networking. The most successful people out there in the world network for so many reasons, and one very small reason among those reasons is business. And that's perspective change that I want to bring in today for you. Okay? But before I do, I have a question to ask you. And that question is this: what is that one thing, if you had more of, you will be able to do 10 times better in your business and your career? Time, okay. Somebody's saying time.
Money.
More money, good, okay.
Connections.
More connections. Plausible, right? It's where in a networking session makes sense. Talk about connections, okay. Attitude to learn, okay. So money, time, connections, attitude to learn, what else?
Customers.
More customers.
Service.
Better service, okay.
Ideas.
More ideas, absolutely.
Good workers.
Good people, right? Team, yeah, absolutely, right? So, you're saying that if you had more of time, money, people, connections, ideas, quality and innovation of, you would be able to do 10 times better. Yes? You agree?
Yes.
But what if you're all wrong? Let's do an exercise. Get your phones out. Get your phones out. Quickly, open a notepad. Phones out, notepad. Do it, come on. Okay? Now, in the phone, open a notepad, and in this notepad, I want you to start listing what are the resources that you have access to right now. So everything that has been said so far is a resource. Time is a resource, money is a resource, people is a resource, right? Somebody said ideas, which is knowledge. Knowledge is a resource, right? So I'm giving you some examples. You write down as many resources as you think you have access to as of today. Right? You may not have a lot of money, you may have little money, but you have money, so that money is a resource. Your network, people that you know, is a resource. Those of you who are a member of TIE is a resource. Right? Your customers are a resource. Because through your customers you can get more business. Your team is a resource, your knowledge is a resource, money, etc., etc. I'm going to give you a minute, write as many down as you can, as many resources that you can think of. Done? Anyone needs more time, just say yes. Okay, cool. Now, follow-up question, follow-up assignment. In front of every resource that you have written, let's say you've written 5 resources, look at one resource at a time and ask yourself, at what percentage am I utilizing this resource? So for example, you've written knowledge as a resource. At what percentage are you utilizing your knowledge? How much you know versus how much you're doing. You may know a lot, but you're not doing enough. Your time, right? How well do you spend your time during the day? Are you more busy during the day, or are you more productive? Do you at times in the night when you go to sleep, you're like, oh, today was a very, very busy day, but hey, what did I do today? Where did my time go? So time is a resource. Money, how well are you using your money? Your team, your customers. Time, how well are you using time, right? Or this conference, forget TIE, even if you're not a member of TIE, this conference is a resource for you, right? How well are you using this? Are you coming here just standing with people that you know, hesitating to approach people, not talking to them, right? So I'm going to give you a minute. Write a percentage in front of every resource that determines that is the answer to this question, how well you are using this particular resource. Done? Anyone needs more time, just say yes. Okay. Now, I want you to look at this, let me call it a piece of paper, a piece of screen. Look at this and tell me, what do you understand from this? I want somebody from the group now to speak. What do you understand from what's in front of you? I have no idea what you've written. I have no idea. But I'm asking you.
We are just lazy.
Okay, we're just lazy.
Most of the resources are
Most
unutilized.
of the resources are unutilized. Somebody from here?
We don't use all the resources like equally.
Right, we're not balancing the usage of these resources. Anyone else from here?
You are not connecting to the right person, right?
Right. We have the network, but we're not reaching out, right? Cool.
Just connect to resource.
Right, okay.
Win-win situation.
Leverage, yeah. Okay.
Awareness of the resource.
Awareness, okay, cool. Now, when I asked earlier, what is that one resource that you have more of, you'll be able to do 10 times better? Let me take one example from there. One person said money. Now, I want you to understand this. Money doesn't help you do anything other than amplify what you are doing. So, for example, let's say your average of this list that you made is that 40% you are thumbs up, utilizing your resources well, 60% your thumbs down, which means you're wasting your resources. If, let's say, that is an average for you, and right now I gave you $10 million. I don't have it, right? But hypothetically, if I gave you $10 million, those $10 million are going to help you waste 60% and utilize only 40%. Money only amplifies. One of the biggest misbelief that we can have is that we don't have enough to build the kind of company, career that we want. That's a lie. And one of the biggest resources, I call this phenomenon resourceability. It's not a real word, but the way I define it is I say resourceability is our ability to best utilize the resources that we have access to. So to the SMEs and everybody else sitting in the room, one, stop believing that you have shortage of anything. If you get more of people, you get more of money, you get more of customers, you get more of leads. If you're wasting 60% right now, you will continue wasting 60% of them. Nothing's going to change. Unless you become aware of your patterns and you change that. And the reason I'm talking about this is because the biggest resource that you have access to is your network. Right? Just that. Is it true for you that you have people in your network right now that you can reach out to get help, support, mentoring, investments, advice, introductions, referrals, etc., and you're hesitating to pick up the phone? The answer is yes, by the way. I'm answering on behalf of you. So you've got your existing network. Think about it. If your existing network started to work for you, started to introduce you, start to refer you, support you, mentor you, right? Open doors for you. If your existing network started to work for you, would you need anything else? Yes or no? Right? That is the power of networking. And we are going around thinking and believing, oh, networking is exchanging cards, meeting a couple of people, closing a couple of deals. You have enough in your existing network to take care of a couple of years for you? But are you strategically choosing to focus on that or not is the question? Right? So these are some of the mistakes business owners are making every single day. For example, we were just having this conversation outside. The most ignored thing in an entrepreneur's business is this thing called customer. The most ignored. Once a customer comes on board, right, our relationship is transactional. As long as the transaction is going, we're talking to the customer, and the moment transaction is not happening, we're not talking. The only two reasons we talk to our customers is when we have to give them something or when we have to take money. Otherwise, we're not talking to our customers. Those of you who are not entrepreneurs here, when was the last time you contacted the most valuable person in your network and went and had a cup of coffee with them? And those of you who are business owners here, when did you go last time and sat for an hour with your customer without any agenda? Such a valuable resource, but it's not working. Fine. Now let's understand this, guys. The meaning of networking is your network working for you. Networking. If I ask you right now, what is networking? All of you will give me profound answers. It's about collaboration, it's about idea sharing, it's about this, it's about that. But at the back of the mind, it's money, business. And this back of the mind mindset that we have, the transactional mindset that we have, is the reason we're struggling. When I want to approach him, I want his business, I come under pressure. Like, what is he going to think? What do I say? Will he give me his time or not? Right? If I take the business context away and I just speak with him as a human being, that starts a relationship. And on the relationships conversation happen. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say we're standing outside. I meet you, I approach you, I shake hand, I say, hi, my name is Paritosh. What's your name? And from there, I make the entire conversation about you, nothing about me. Not a thing about me. I don't tell you who I am, I don't tell you other than my name, I don't tell you what I do, blah, blah, nothing. I simply make the conversation about you. Now, here's my question. How long will it be before you start to wonder, what do I do? And I'm just talking to you, about you. How long will it be before you start to wonder what I do?
Until you stop asking questions.
Until it's not an interview. Right? So, few minutes, right?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, so from few to 10, right? Somewhere around that time. Now, here's the point. When you start to wonder, what do I do? What will you do? You'll ask.
I will explore.
Right? You will ask, right? You will explore, absolutely. You'll come and say, by the way, Paritosh, what do you do? Now you have to understand. Psychological phenomenon that's happening inside your head. Now because you've asked, you are 80% more likely to remember my introduction and remember me. Let me tell you. If I come to you, get my card out and give my card and say, hi, my name is Paritosh Pathak, strategic networking coach, I work with business owners and organizations, blah, 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 blah. I give my introduction without him asking. 80% likely he's going to forget me by the end of the day. How many times has it happened with you that you came to a networking event, met a couple of people, looked at the cards next day and said, oh my God, when did I get this card? When did I meet this person? Ever happened? Yes or no? Always happens. That's because there's no value in that conversation. So the best way to talk to people is don't talk about yourself. In fact, bring the conversation to a level where the other person comes and says, what do you do? Right? That's what you want, right? That's what I want with him. I want to tell him what I do. That's what I want. But if I start 80% chances that he will forget me, and if I'm just able to have patience for a couple of minutes, and he asks, 80% chances that he will remember me. He'll remember me, he'll remember my business card. Right. Now this brings up the DNA of networking. Networking is about other people. It's not about us. Right. I loved Shrikant's story that he started with. Shrikant came up and said, well, he was about to go, Netflix, snacks, relax at home, enjoy good food, and he gets called. What does he do? He brings a team to collaborate. Collaborate. existing network. Now, could Shrikant have done that had he not had access to that network? No. But here's the thing. The mistakes that you guys are making is that there's so many people in your network that you know you should be meeting, having lunch with, inviting on dinner, right? Going and asking them to be a mentor, seeking advice, just having amazing conversations with them, and you are not doing that. That is the number one wastage of your resource that you can do. Because right now, you're thinking you're too busy, you don't have time to go and meet them, and when you need them, you'll feel really, oh my God, I haven't called him in so many days, how can I all of a sudden call and say, I need this? Guilt comes in, right? How many times you want to contact someone and ask for some help, but you don't because you have this thought in your head, not called him for so many days, how can I call him now? Resourceability, right? You truly want to succeed in it. Now, let's first of all understand, you cannot succeed without networking. You just cannot. It's impossible. One of the biggest myths that's out there in the world is my work will speak for me. If I create good products, great solutions, if I give great service, people will come. That's the biggest lie. Research done by Carnegie Institute. Carnegie Institute is by Dale Carnegie. Has anyone read that book, How to Influence People? Yeah? Right? The author, it's a great book, you should read it. The author is Dale Carnegie, and Dale Carnegie set up an institute. That institute did a research, and the result of that research was so astonishing that they had to redo the research just to double check the result, and the result was this, that even in extremely technical businesses as engineering, over 85% of your financial success depends upon your ability to build, maintain, and leverage relationships. So that's what the report saying. Let's understand this how, okay? Okay, one part of networking is I want to meet people, exchange cards, do business. Of course I do. I want to do that, I'm not denying. But at the same time, I need to lead a great team in order to grow beyond the point. You can't get where you want to get alone, it's not going to happen, right? You want to build $1 billion company? You think you can do that alone? Not happening. You think you can be the smartest person in the business and grow that? Not happening. You have to build a great team. So that's the concept. More challenging is you have to lead a great team. And if you're all product kind of person, where is leadership then? You don't have the ability. People will come and they won't stay. Good talent. How many times it's happening? Good talent has come, you train them, and the moment they get trained, they go. And then you blame it on them. Oh, they don't stay. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, that. Truth of the matter is you do not have the ability to hold those kind of people. You do not inspire them enough. You don't motivate them enough. And they're only going to stick with you when you can lead those people. What is leadership? 80% networking. It's all about people. Right? So that's internal customers, that's your team. External customers, we spoke about it. Sorry. Last time when did you meet your customer or the most important people in your network? And those relationships are dying and fading. Past customers, forget current customers, past customers, those customers whose projects get over. They're no longer in active business with you. What do you do with them? Once a year, on Diwali, on Holi?
Maybe on birthdays, wedding days.
Yeah, see. So remember one thing. What's your name? Venkatesh. Venkatesh, one very important rule. Don't do normal things on special days, do special things on normal days. Right? On birthday, everybody's calling. Don't call. Forget, let it be. Call on a non-birthday and then tell that person how valuable that person is to you. They're going to remember it for years.
Wisdom for Gokulashtami.
Did what I just said get through to you? I doubt, but it's okay, okay? Cool. So, understand what's happening out here. Right? You need networking. So, I was telling you this, the most successful people, they use networking for scouting. What is scouting? Scouting for talent. They're constantly looking for good people to work with, to invest in, to hire, to collaborate with. They're constantly doing that. While average networker, amateur networkers are out there trying to see, can I get 2 rupees, can I get 2 rupees, can I get 2 rupees? Right? Your present reality is not your ultimate reality. You need to focus on where you're going and start building that kind of network today. Right? You're looking for a job? Start networking with the kind of people today. Give it time. You want to get big deals, big projects, government contracts, go start networking there. Don't expect anything. It's not going to happen. Nobody's sitting out there saying, oh, Mr. Paritosh, you have come. Here is a 5 crore check. No, not going to happen. Nobody's sitting there. Unless Paritosh is out there building that kind of relationship, right, where, of course, your competence is important, where you're able to see my competence, and then that's powered by relationship, business happens. But if we continue to ignore our network, right, we're only firing on one engine, not 2. Right? If you want to succeed in networking, you have to succeed in networking. There is no choice, right? Stop believing that your ability to network is limited. This is the biggest lie, especially in India. This is the biggest lie. People think, oh, you know what? I can't approach people. I can't say hello. I can't do this. I can't do that. Stop believing that your ability to network is limited. It is not. Number one. Number 2, right? A lot of you go look at someone, probably me networking in the room, or someone and say like, oh my God, I can't network like Kunal, I can't network like this person, I can't network like that person. Guess what? You're not supposed to. How many of you believe you're introverts? Show of hands. Introverts, come on, raise your hand. It's half the people in the room, raise your hand. Come on, easy, it's okay. I don't know, cool, right? Yeah, okay. Now, this is the problem of introverts. They're like, oh, you know what? They'll come to this event, they'll sit with those, you know those 2 people from before? Right? No. Yeah? Right. They'll sit with people that they know from before. They'll come to the networking. You've come here to network, right? Everybody is, okay. Raise your hand if one of your biggest reasons to come here was networking. Come on. Raise your hand. See? But ask yourself, how well are you doing it? How well are you doing it? Are you happy with the kind of networking that you're doing? No, right? Why? Because you're too hesitant to approach someone and have a conversation. Let's solve that problem today. You approach people and you do not talk about you. You keep your business card in your pocket. You don't bring it out. You don't give it unnecessarily to the other person. You wait till the person comes and says, can I have your business card? One thing that I guarantee in all my trainings and programs, that if nothing else happens, your business card printing expense will go up. Guaranteed. ROI guaranteed. Right? So keep your business cards in your pocket. And the challenge that I'm giving to you is have a conversation with people at a level that they come and say, can I have your business card, please? Because then they will value it, they will respect it, they'll remember it. They'll save it, and one day they'll call it. But if you're out there just distributing your cards to people, it's not going to happen. To do networking right, you have to divide networking into 3 parts. Right now, the world sees networking as a very narrow thing. Event, introductions, card exchange, and follow-ups. But you can't do that anymore. You have to divide networking into 3 parts. Skill, system, and strategy. Right? Skill is your ability to talk to people, have conversations, build relationships. But in order to be good at skill, in order to be able to build great relationships, you have to overcome your fears. What are the fears of networking? One is fear of rejection. If I approach him, what do I say? What will he say? What if what I say sounds stupid to him? That's a fear. Right? And then there's a big person, small person syndrome. Oh my God, president, oh my God, such a big person, oh my God. So we see a big person in front of us and we become small. Right? And then we're going around judging people. Oh, look at how much attitude he's sitting with. Look how she's smiling. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, constantly judging people, writing them off for no reason. Right? Someone has to do one thing that we don't approve of. And we're not going to talk to that person. right? So these are fears that you have to overcome. Let me tell you very clearly, you don't have a choice. You're not getting where you want to get in life without having the ability to connect and lead people. You're not getting there no matter how great you are. Well, if you are a genius level person, then relax, big checks are coming. No problem. If you're a genius, like one person in the world, or like there are only 5 people like you in the world. If you're that kind of person, that talented, sit at home, relax, big checks are coming. No need for networking. Chill. But if you're not a genius level person, then you have to move. Then you have to come to these events. Then you cannot sit with people that you know. Then you have to have conversations. Right? So number 1, skill. Number 2, system. Now let's understand the meaning of system. Can anybody tell me why are systems important? Anyone? There would be a lot of system experts here.
Procedural. To keep things organized.
To keep things organized, procedural, okay? Anyone else?
Just form to streamline.
Sorry? Streamline, okay?
It can be repeated.
Sorry?
It can be repeated.
Okay, it could be repeated, okay? Cool. Sorry? Progress. Right, okay, cool. Now, feedback, right? Now, understand this, guys. The role of strategy is to help you create success. The role of strategy is to help you create success. The role of system is to help you replicate it. How many times it's happened in your life that you closed 1 or 2 or 3 big projects, but then it didn't happen again? You built 1, 2 great relationships, but it didn't happen again. That's because you're not networking with system. Success in networking comes from what you do after. What you're doing here is irrelevant, doesn't matter. You may have 2 simple conversations, exchange cards, go back. What you do after you go back is going to define how successful you're going to be. What do you do when you go back from these events? What do you do with the cards?
You send a thanks note.
Right?
Call them back after a week.
Right? And then?
Invite them.
Okay?
Don't forget them.
Give them some.
Rest of you? So, okay. A lot of you go back, take the email address of the card. You've got an email that you already have in your inbox. You copy paste that. Dear Mr. Pathak, it was nice to have met you at Thai, Coimbatore, my event. It was a pleasure interacting with you. Let me take the opportunity to introduce ourselves. Right? And then comes 200 lines of text and 20 attachments. And that's networking. No. No, that's not networking. That's trying to sell, and that's making you look desperate. So if you're doing that, please stop. Please stop. Right? Start to build relationships. So you got to keep asking this question from yourself. What kind of a network do I have? It doesn't matter how many amazing people you know. Right? A lot of people say it's not who you know, it's who knows you. It's neither. It's what are the kind of relationships you have. Now today, I'm going to know a few more people. But am I going to stay in touch with you? And trying to sell to you is not staying in touch. Selling could be anything. Anything that I want from you. Maybe business, maybe your idea, maybe your investment, maybe your mentoring, maybe your support, maybe your introduction. Anything I want from you is selling. Let me ask you a question. If I told you that you can't do any of these after meeting someone, do you even know what will you do? Other than just connect on LinkedIn and forget it. Right? So you gotta have a system. What are you going to do after you meet someone? And you can't be selling. It doesn't work like that. Anyone who's got money or support or advice to give to you, that person has 20 other people after him. Do you know that? You're not the only one. One rule of success, don't do what everyone is doing. Just don't do it. If everyone's going after that person, you know how it happens that a speaker gets off stage in bigger conferences? I've seen this at ThaiCon, wherever I've gone. that a speaker gets off stage, people come in group, they're like, sir, can I give you my card? Ma'am, can I give you my card? What do you think they're going to do with your card? What do you think? Right? I'm not going to repeat what he said. Right? Okay? Nothing's going to happen. You want to talk to a speaker? Talk to them before they go on the stage, not after. That's strategy. That means you need to know who are the speakers. That means you need to study who's coming to an event. Why are you? Most of you who have come here have just arrived. You've not gone through the agenda. You've not seen the people that you want to meet. You've not done that. And you think like this you're going to succeed. And this, you're not doing this just in networking. Isn't this how you're doing every single day? You show up at work and you're like, okay, what do I want to do today? Let me solve today's problem. It's not going to happen. You're not going to create success like that. Right? So, create a system. If nothing else, start making a list of the most important people in your network. Please do that. We call it T20, the top 20% of your network. Right? Start making a list of those people and start staying in touch with them, which means no selling. In fact, you trying to see what can you do for them. That is the best way. If you've got this ultra HNI, super successful person, some big guy that you want to build a relationship with, answer this one question. What can I do for him or her? You answer that one question, and that relationship is yours. So it's going to be difficult to answer that question. It'll take time, that's okay. But if you can figure out what you can do for them, you have that relationship is yours. Okay? Skill is your ability to network. System is what do you do? How do you network? So your existing network, what is the power? Who are the right people for you to stay in touch with? Are you staying in touch with them? Please jump, nothing else. Just pick up the phone and call them and say, all of you today called to give my respects. How have you been? How's everybody at home? But you wouldn't do that. You know why? Because you'll think, oh, you know what? Middle of the afternoon, they must be busy. Oh, it's evening, they must be on the way back. Oh, it's Monday, it's the first day of the week, it's probably not a good day to call. Oh, it's a weekend. No, weekend we can't do this. Any other day is fine. Right, you're going to keep making all those excuses. You're not going to pick up the phone, you're not going to call, you're not going to build a network. And because you're not going to build a network, you'll not be able to build the right kind of team. You'll not have the right kind of mentors, advisors. You'll not have the right kind of ecosystem. You'll not have the right kind of customers. You'll not have the right kind of supporters. But everything else is going to be okay. Please go back today, take some 10 minutes of time and think, ask yourself, is it really possible for you to succeed alone on just having a great product or service? The answer is no, but take your time and think about it. Right? We're talking about building in India for the world. I'll tell you one unique advantage India has. The value of relationships in India is probably the highest in the world. You go out there in the world, many of you travel outside. Tell me, those of you travel outside, agree or disagree? I'm going to say something. After that, tell me whether you agree or disagree. Outside, people are friendly, but they're not friends.
Yes.
Agree or disagree? Right? Right? But that's not the case in India. Networking out there is a lot harder. Okay, if it's not harder outside, it's far easier in India. Because our culture, India is a culture, India is not a religion, right? And I'm not talking about any particular religion segment. I just said India, the way India works, it's a culture, right? In India culture, no matter who you are, the value of relationships is ingrained into us from the very beginning. It is just the stories we have been selling to ourselves. And you know the biggest story that we've sold to ourselves? Secretly that we keep selling? I am not good enough. Somebody's thinking, I'm not rich enough. Somebody's thinking, I'm not successful enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't speak well enough. I don't look good enough. I don't have this ability. I don't have that ability. I'm not old enough. I'm not experienced enough. I don't have enough certification. I don't have enough knowledge, I don't have enough intelligence, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that. Let me be very clear. I'm not asking you, do you feel this? I'm looking into your eyes and I'm telling you that I know that you do. Your ego may not allow you to admit that today. I would understand it. But till the time you don't get all of these stories out of your head, until the time you don't understand, thank you for that background music, Austin. Till the time you don't get out of these stories from your head, till the time you don't understand that the only reason everybody is in this room here is networking. So why are you hesitating to approach someone and have a conversation? What are you going to do? You spend a full day here, not met the right people, and gone back. And how long you've been doing that? So let me help you understand this. Your goal is very simple. Start a relationship here. You're not going to win it today. You can only start a relationship here, and you have to be willing to invest time. Me expecting that I'm going to meet him, I'm going to meet him, or I'm going to meet him, and I'm going to get the check today. Not going to happen. But the moment I understand that it's about building the right kind of network. So if I put you in the middle of your network and I made everybody stand around, and if I made you go like this, you literally have to go, oh my God, I've got an amazing network. And if that is not the case, and I'm talking about the value of relationships across, and if that is not the case, you're doing something wrong. The best of the networkers, I'm not the best networker I know. I'm a networking coach, but I'm not the best networker I know. The best networkers that I know, you know, if you go and ask them, I don't know how to network, can you tell me? You know what they're going to say? Oh, what's that? You go, you talk to people, and that's it. Magic happens. These guys will never be able to explain to you because they intuitively, by nature, by their conditioning, they know. But you know what is India's culture? Oh, you shouldn't be talking to strangers. Kid, my child, don't talk to strangers. It is good. It is meant for our safety. But then that starts limiting us. Right? You no longer have to be limited by your conditioning, by your upbringing. You can now choose. You have the ability. You've grown up. You're everybody's post 18, right? So you're in the legal age to think now. Stop thinking for yourself. You don't have to be limited. The moment you own where you are, if you want to sell, if I want to meet her and I want to talk to her about selling my product for her company, I should be authentic. I should simply go and say, hello ma'am, my name is Paritosh, I know this is what you do, this is what I do. I think this product's going to be great for you. Can I have a few minutes of your time, whenever possible, to just tell you about it? No obligation. But we don't do that. You know what we do? We stand and like, hello ma'am, how are you ma'am? Nice selling, hello ma'am. How's everything going ma'am? We do all that. When we want to network, we avoid. When we want to sell, we pretend that we're networking. Start being authentic. Everybody can tell your truth. Everyone. It is only you who think that people don't know what you want. Everybody else knows. Everybody else knows. So start being authentic. When you want to sell, be very clear. Go from a space of personal power. If I go and say to her, what is the worst that's going to happen? Tell me. Yeah, she's going to say no. She's not going to call the Coimbatore police on me, Paritosh, she tried selling to me. No. Go to jail. No. What do you think is going to happen? If you approach someone, say hello, talk to them for 2 minutes, and let's say you even make a fool of yourself. Let's say you stand there like an idiot, like after saying, hello ma'am, you have nothing else to say. Let's assume that you made a fool of yourself. What do you think is going to happen? Stock market is going to crash?
Dollar will fall.
Pakistan is going to attack?
Dollar will fall.
Dollar will fall? China is going to say we surrender to India? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen If you get a couple of conversations wrong, if you make a couple of mistakes, what do you think is going to happen?
I'll have more than
You're not that important. And please answer this question to me. Just one. If there's one takeaway you should have from today, it should be this. Is it even possible for you to succeed without failure?
No.
8 billion people on this planet. Let's say a couple of million are successful, whatever your definition of success is, let's go with that. A couple of million would be successful. Can you find me one, just one, who would have succeeded without failing miserably first? Yes or no? Can you find me one? No. But you don't want to fail. You don't want to go approach people, the valuable people. Can you imagine how much effort Thai has to put in? Try come in Thai team once, right? Then you'll understand how much effort goes behind making this happen. So many people's calendars have to be aligned. People have to travel from different places just to be here in front of you for 20 minutes. And those are the 20 minutes you have. But you don't want to fail. Let me be very clear. If you're not willing to fail, you're not going to succeed. So please, whatever's happened in the past, don't go into the regret mode. Don't go into the victim mode. Oh my God, he's so right. I wasted so much time. I've wasted so many opportunities. That again, this is. Stop that. Stop the mental time travel. Come here. Right. Very simple rule of success. You just have to do better today than yesterday. That's it. Law of compounding. Right? Just a little bit over a period of time. So if today you go back from this event doing one thing that you won't have done otherwise, you're on the way to success. That's it. And that could even be failing. Right? Let's say you weren't willing to fail, and you approached her, and you talked to her, and you tried selling to her, and you failed. She said, no, I don't need it. Sorry. I'm not going to give you my car. So let's say you failed miserably. Progress. 8 billion people. Not one without failure. Go to any super successful person in the world. They'll just tell you one thing. They've succeeded because they walked on the shoulders of the giants. And giants were their teams, were their friends, were their supporters, were their mentors. Those were the giants. How many giants are there in this room right now? You just have to start a relationship today. You don't have to win it today. You have time. One way I always joke about this is this. We act as if we don't get the deal today, we're going to die tomorrow. Right? Are you planning on dying tomorrow? No? I know it's not in your control, but are you planning on dying tomorrow? No, right? So if you're not planning on dying tomorrow, there's no rush. And in case if you are dying tomorrow, then there is no rush. Relax. Relax. Approach people, start relationships. I've been with Thai, I've lost track of how many more. I think I have an on and off relationship with Thai. Right? But I've been in the relationship with Thai for, I don't know, maybe 10 years now. If I go to my first membership with Thai, it will be more than 10 years ago. In the last 2-3 years, I have been able to have conversations with the people that I look up to. 7 years, I would see them at an event and I go, oh my God, I want to talk to this person. What am I going to say? What's going to happen? Oh no, what are they going to think? It's in the last couple of years, not 2 years have gone in COVID, maybe 5 years. Right? Now I'm able to approach them, shake hands, have a meaningful conversation, and in some of those conversations, even I failed today. Right? But I've learned one thing. If these two people are talking and I'm standing with them and they're just talking to each other, it's just okay to stand and listen. You don't have to start carrying a weight on your, oh my God, they're talking to each other. Am I the third wheel? Oh, this is so embarrassing. Oh, what they must be thinking about me. These two are busy talking about themselves. Or what are they talking about? You're not that important. Just be comfortable, be okay with who you are. That is the secret of success. You have to be okay with who you are today. And once you're okay with who you are today, then you can start building an amazing building on top of that. But please be very clear. Either you're a genius category person, if yes, sit at home, big checks are coming. But if you're not, if you're like me, if you're like an average person out there, get out there, network. And networking doesn't mean selling. Go meet people at Starbucks for coffee, invite people over for dinner. Just sit with them. And simple rule, you have to talk to them about them, not about you, until they start talking to you about you. And it's okay if you talk to someone, they don't even come and ask you, by the way, what you do. It's okay. You'll get better. Right? Please make this a priority, guys. Right? We're on time now. Make it a priority that while you're working on your product, while you're working on your leadership skills, while you're working on your selling skills, presentation skills, technology, whatever you're working on, please make sure that you're not ignoring your ability to network. Right? There is no one kind of networking. You don't have to come in the room and own the room. You could be the quiet person in a corner. You could be the kind of person who talks to only 2 people in a full day conference and carry those relationships. It's okay for you to take the time. You don't know what relationship will pan out when. But can you please stop making yourself small or lesser or ignorant or whatever, and just reach out. All it takes is, hi, I'm Paritosh. Well, you don't say Paritosh, that's my name, you say your name. Right? That's all you do, hi. And a conversation will happen, and some of those conversations are going to fail, and that's okay. 8 billion people on the planet, not one. Relax. In India, you have a unique advantage. The talent, the commitment, the loyalty. I know there's a lot of cynicism out there about loyalties, etc. But despite all of that cynicism, the loyalties are still the highest. Let me give you one simple note after which I'm going to end. Right. When you start a business, your first need is survival. You have to survive. You have to pay your expenses. You have to be able to open your shutter every morning. Your first need is survival. When your survival is taken care of, your second need is scale. Now you want to scale. Because in survival, the product's proven. Now you want to do more business. When you start to scale, you realize you don't have systems in place. So you start working on the systems. So, survival, scale, systems. You know what comes above systems? People. If you don't have great people around you, survival, scale, system, all of that is going to keep going up and down. You're not going to go up. You're going to go, one year is going to be 10% better, another year is going to be 5% better, it's not going to be 100%, 50% better. If there is this one question inside your head, I'm asking you a question. Do you believe that you're putting far more effort and not getting enough results? Don't answer that question, just answer it in your head. Do you believe that you're putting far more effort and not getting enough result? If the answer is yes, I'm going to pause, dramatic pause for the phone. Over? Cool. If you've got this question in your head, really you need to consider, are you using your resources right? It's not shortage of anything. It's the underutilization that kills businesses. All right? Most people out in our country are making this huge mistake. That either they believe that they can't network and they've given up, or they think, you know what, I can start it tomorrow. Don't make these mistakes. You don't have that choice. You have to start now. Okay? 85% of your financial success depends upon your ability to build, maintain, and leverage relationships. Okay? Cool? All right, done. Any questions? We just have 2 minutes. No questions? So either everybody's understood everything or nobody's understood anything. Sorry? I know everybody's waiting for lunch, I get that. But you're not going out there before 2 minutes. I mean, even if you don't have a question, I'm just going to stand here. No, we're not going for lunch right now. No questions? Yes, please.
Like this networking, we don't have the time, right? Things during the tea section, we can speak in, maybe we can find 2 or 3 people, but we cannot go on, keep on. We cannot keep on speaking with all.
Absolutely.
The time is the
So there's a
problem.
shortage of time, right?
Yeah. So, actually, you give us some half an hour or 1 hour time, either in the stage or in here itself, we can introduce ourselves and we can know each other. And
Okay, cool.
Even instead of sharing the cards, also we can get their members.
So you want more resources?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name?
Bharati.
Bharti. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well you've networked today?
Not yet started, just
Okay.
only with the 2 or 3 people.
Scale of 1 to 10, give me a number. How well have you networked so far? You've been here for an hour, 2 hours, whatever.
Maybe 5 to 10%.
Maybe 5 to 10%, okay? So let's say 10%. Let's go by her side. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1. Right. I would understand you asking for more time to network, to be able to introduce yourself, etc., etc., when you get to somewhere around 7 and 8. Because right now you've just done that. I started by saying more resources is not the problem.
The right resources.
Utilization of the resource, right? So if before coming here you would have gone through the agenda, you would have looked at the speakers, you would have sent them LinkedIn invites. So let's say you would have sent a LinkedIn invite to me a week ago, saying, "Hi Paritosh, I'm Bharati, I'm part of Coimbatore team. You're coming here. I'm looking forward to meeting you." Now you would have come to me outside in that few minutes that everybody equally had, and you would have come to me, "Hi Paritosh, I'm Bharati. I'd send you that LinkedIn invite." All of a sudden, Bharati, everybody else would be side, and you will be my focus. How difficult was it to do this, Bharati?
Yeah.
Right? So we can go on and say, I need this, Tai should do this, another platform should do this. Let me tell you, even if we did everything that you're asking for right now, most of you are still not going to leverage it. You know? Do the best with what you have, then ask for the rest. Not before. And it's not just true for networking. Anything. Anything. Alright? Cool. Anything else?
So, do you think that network should have a time limit or no? For example, I've seen Pradeep sir in Thai websites and all. I wanted to meet him. So I met him and gave a card. Now after your speech, I believe that whether I have done the wrong thing or the right thing. Actually, I
Okay.
introduced Geeta,
Give me a name.
relative.
Satish.
Yeah,
Satish.
Satish, yeah. Now I felt
No, I'm about to make it worse.
I met
Don't
2
worry.
persons and I gave my card. Now after your speech, I feel very bad.
Yeah, cool. Good. Okay. Right, Satish, let me say,
Satish, I am here, I have written your card.
see, networking happening right now, okay? So number one,
So I think this is the right time to have a network with Pradeep sir.
now he knows you.
Correct, sir?
Now he knows you, right? Satish, there's a quote that says, never count a man happy until the end is known. It's a very powerful quote, it's not by me, I don't remember who's it by, I love this quote. Never count a man happy until the end is known. What this means is, don't look at successful people and say, oh, their life is amazing. Their end is not known yet. Right? What this in this context means is, you've had one conversation with him. Let's say this conversation is wrong. But do you think you're going to get a second chance to meet with him?
I wanted to.
You want to, I understand. But the problem is, you wanting to have that conversation with him today. That's going to create the pressure. If you allow
Not
a
like
goal
that.
of time,
No, I don't agree with you.
Okay, cool. If that's the case, then it's good. It's an advantage then, okay? Allow the rule of time. Meet him once, meet him twice. He's got, so, you're not the only one who wants to meet him. So many people, right? So what you have to do is you have to give him enough time to notice you. Every time you meet, just have one small valuable conversation with him. Go to him and ask, sir, quickly wanted to ask you, what was your biggest learning from COVID? Sir, quickly wanted to ask you, you've built an amazing team. What's that one thing that helps you build these amazing teams? Every time you meet, make a mark. Make a mark, make a mark, make a mark. After 4 or 5 meetings, you will come and say, hey, how are you? You won't have to go to him. But the problem is we're not willing to invest those 4 or 5 meetings. We want the results today. If it happens today, yay. If it doesn't happen today, yay. That's the problem. And networking doesn't work like this. Talk to these guys, all of these speakers, esteemed speakers that we have here. They've not made it in one day. If one day possible, I will bring them here on a panel discussion and I'll ask them. I'll be the moderator and I'll ask them, Kunal, could you please tell me? Could you please tell me? Could you please tell me what are the biggest fuck-ups you've done in networking? And they're going to open their books of years of mistakes that they made, after which they've gone successful. So what one interaction with them went wrong? It's okay.
No, it's not went wrong.
I'm saying let's assume it went wrong.
Okay.
Let's assume for a moment that it went wrong. So number one, he's not going to remember you by the end of the day. Bad news, also good news. Because the
But
meeting went
today he is going to remember.
wrong. Yeah, of course.
So that's
Right?
another.
And you can thank me for that, right? Right, cool. So next question, one question I have for you. Should we break for lunch? No? Okay, we'll continue. Nitin, another half an hour, okay?
When is the lunch?
Sorry?
Next question is when is the lunch?
Lunch is right now, but nobody wants to go. Everybody's loving the session so much. Nobody said yes. All right? Cool. Okay, Nitin, I think let's feed them.
Yeah.
All right? Over to you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so very much. I love you all. Thank you.
A lot of what I've spoken to you today, I have a very simple ebook that dives deeper into it, absolutely free. You may have sent to you, right? Connect with me any way you believe I can help. Let me know, please. Right? I'd love to stay connected. Cool. Thank you. Bye.